Good afternoon. Okay, see, my mom's over there. She's from Alabama. And in Alabama, people speak back to you when you say, good afternoon. There you go. Today is an awesome day. Don't you agree? Well, make noise like you agree that it's an awesome day. My name is Katrina Shaw, and I have the awesome privilege of being the CEO of this wonderful historical institution. I love you. UV, this wonderful institution called Freedom House. And I want to welcome you to our ribbon cutting ceremony, which has been a long time coming, and that in itself deserves a round of applause. There are several people who we need to thank who made this possible. There will be additional people who we'll thank after, but I definitely want to, Tyler, could you grab me a program? I'm sorry. I can't depend on my memory, so that's why I had to do that. So I definitely want to thank everybody who made this possible, the City of Boston. I want to thank the building renovation team, and if you can stand up, I want to thank the Dream Collaborative. I want to thank CRJAIBI Group Landscape Architect. I want to thank Janie Co. Greg Janey's here. I want to thank Stad Real Estate and also United Housing Management and obviously Eastern Bank. So if you can give them a round of applause, I'd appreciate it. So we won't be before you long. You'll need to dance more than you have to listen today. And but I want to take the opportunity to introduce to you one of our phenomenal students, Antonio, who would like to share a few words about Freedom House and how he got here through his own journey. Antonio. Don't worry. You're tall, I'm short. Even with heels.
Apologies. Hello.
You're fine.
Hello, my fellow students, role models, and advocates for freedom and democracy. My name is Antonio Weathers, and I'm proud to be a Freedom House alum, as well as a current sophomore at Emerson College, and I'm majoring in writing, literature, and publishing. When I first entered Freedom House, it was through a youth organization that provided the job, and it's from this very place that I learned that there's no age to have a plan, a voice, and a role. It's because of Freedom House that I learned that proper guidance is needed for one to truly succeed. They educate me in college planning, work etiquette, and deconstructualizing civil issues, as well as creating the change I desire in my community. They taught me that there is no shyness in creating the change that you would want to see. Most of all, they showed me constant care and attentive to my character and well-being, as well as nurture me a mindset that will help me evolve as a leader and citizen going through the issues tied to my identity. Freedom House has always shown my peers and I that they believe in our potential and desire to create the best of ourselves. From the first time I stepped into this building to now, Freedom House has always felt like a second home. Now, for my honor and privilege, let me introduce the man with the same beliefs as Freedom House, the mayor of Boston, Massachusetts, Martin Walsh.
Great job. Thank you, sir. Great job, my friend. Now, how about a nice round of applause for this young man right here? Thank you, Antonio. We're gonna we'll be right back. We're gonna be doing all that in a little while, right? Yeah, we're gonna do that in a little while.
He's getting ready.
Let me just say to Katrina, thank you. To Andrew, the chair, and everyone at Freedom House, thank you. To Gail, who couldn't be with us today, thank you as well. On behalf of myself and all the elected officials that are here, I just want to make sure this is a job like this, a project like this is a partnership, and it's a partnership where we all work together. And I want to start by thanking City Councilor Tito Jackson, who's district we're in. Thank you, Councilor Jackson, for your great work. I want to thank State Representative China Tyler as well. Thank you for having us here today. I want to thank City Councilor Ayanna Presley, who's done some incredible work in our city. I want to thank Anisha Sabi George as well, who's done some incredible work. And I want to thank everyone who has their commitment to this neighborhood and all across this city. There's so many people I'd like to give shout outs to. UB, I want to thank him for his great work over the years. Thank you for everything that you do in so many different ways. Barry, I was with you last weekend. It was great. Thank you as well. And everyone that's in front of me, quite honestly, us as elected officials that are around you really are following your lead in a lot of ways. A lot of you laid down the foundation. A lot of you did the work of this city, did the work around the civil rights, about inclusion, and what we're trying to do in our city right now is just trying to really carry the torch that you started, that you lit, and I want to thank you for that. I'm excited to be here. I think we all are excited to be here just a little over a year after we broke ground here. This is an incredible day for the Grove Hall community. This building behind me, if you haven't had the chance to go through it yet, when you do, it's beautiful. The lights, the rooms, what's in there, the technology, the history, it's all here. And I want to congratulate everyone who had something to do with today. Freedom House has been a cornerstone of this neighborhood in Roxbury and in Boston for nearly 70 years. Gail's parents, Otto and Muriel, had a vision of breaking down barriers for young people in our city and helping them achieve their dream. Think about that, 70 years. That same dream is happening today. Those same barriers that we want to knock down are happening today. We still have to knock those barriers down. And that's why the mission of Freedom House has not changed one single bit. I know that if Gail's parents were here today, and they are here today, I know they're proud. They're looking down and they're very proud, and they look around and they're seeing faces. They're seeing faces of people running for office that this place gave opportunities to. They're seeing faces like China Tyler's, who created opportunities, like Tito Jackson, like Ayanna Presley, like Sonia Chang Diaz. They helped change the landscape of our city in this country. And I think that's important for us to remember. I also want to thank the board at Freedom House for the vision to turn the site of the old Grove Hall Library into something spectacular. I want to thank Sheila Dillon. I want to thank Donald Wright at D&D and their team for the great work that they did here, because it's important that there's a partnership here. The Grove Hall community for your input in this process. Thank you very much as well. And voicing your support for a place where the community can certainly come together. And there's a beautiful room in here that if you take down the 2 walls, you can probably fit about 300 people in here for a community meeting, which I know we love community meetings. So I'm sure we're going to have them. Freedom House continues to be an incredible community resource. They're working closely to close the achievement gaps and provide young people with supports to graduate for college. This is especially important for me because students who struggle with difficulty at home, it's important for people to have a place. I had a chance to come here about a month ago and sit down with the young people, and they were firing fastballs at me when it came to questioning me on a whole bunch of different things. And it was great to hear it because they understood and they cared about their community. And that's that's important here. And so it's also about getting our young people into college. So getting them involved in civic life and civic engagement, helping them close the achievement gap that we talk so much about, creating a pathway into college so that their world that's in front of them is unlimited. I want to also make sure that we continue to help our young people so they can continue to get back to our communities. Freedom House is an invaluable resource for our young people and an invaluable partner for our city of Boston. You're helping us make sure Boston is a place of opportunity for everyone. This facility will allow us to continue to do the work that you're doing and have an impact for years to come. I just want you to think about this for a minute. Well, first of all, before I say that, I also want to welcome State Representative Liz Maya with us today. Thank you, Representative Maya, for being with us. When Freedom House began 70 years ago, think about the changes that happened in those 70 years. And for the next 70 years, think about the changes, what's going to happen. What we need to make sure is that we continue those changes that are going to happen, continue to be positive, inclusive changes for everyone. So that whoever's at this podium 70 years from now when they're rededicating a new building and whatever the audience might be, they can say, wow, the first 70 years of Freedom House was important because the folks really put their life on the line for freedoms and civil rights. And we need to be able to say that second 70 years was just as important as that first 70 years. So I want to thank you all for being here today and enjoy this beautiful, beautiful building.
So thank you, Mayor Walsh. At Freedom House, we've started a tradition of giving little awards, and the first one is called the Give Back Award. So there are a couple of other people who are going to get this Give Back Award, but we'd like to give you yours first. To remind you to continue to give back in all that you do and keep the mantra of Freedom House. So before we go on and move on to the dancing portion, and it doesn't matter if you're a rhythmless nation or you have a lot of rhythm, you're going to have the second line down there with all the rest of us. I wanted to call up Mr. Hubie Jones. As I hear, Mr. Jones, when I was down in New Orleans somewhere, and they were thinking about doing this building over, there was this young man named Mr. Jones who was advocating for a match grant for Freedom House for mass development. And my mom told me, don't ever forget to go back and thank the people when you realize that they need to be thanked. So I want to thank you for using your wherewithal to start this train running. And I want you to know that we are so proud and so thankful that you are a part of our community and that you continue to push for those of us coming behind you. It means so much to us.
Thank you. Let me just say this. I want to.
That podium's yours. Take it fully.
Okay. I just want to set the record straight. It was a meeting I was having with Deval Patrick about doing some things for the community in terms of nonprofit service organizations. And all of a sudden he said to me, I want to do something for Freedom House. That's a historic place, and if I could get some funding to Freedom House, I want to do it. I said, really? He said, yes. And I have a way to do it through mass development. And all of that led to a matching grant of how many million?
It was 500,000.
500,000,
Yeah.
which was a challenge grant to get this going. But Deval Patrick owes, we owe a great deal to Deval Patrick for helping get this started. Thanks.
We do, in fact, and Deval, I spoke to him this week, and he sends his regrets because he's traveling, but we have a Give Back Award for him as well. And so we are really grateful for Deval. I want to take this opportunity. There's one person I want to bring up before we go. But is there anybody from the Grove Hall Library Committee who's here? The original Grove Hall Library Committee. Can I have a couple of students come up, a student or two, come up and help me with something? Thank you. Would you give these? So I want to just, would you give them one? We just want to give you a small token of our appreciation because we recognize that this building could have gone for a lot of purposes. If it's not right, we'll make it right.
If it's a medium, it's not going to work.
A schmedium, okay. I understand. I have the same issue. It's all right. Today we're all mediums.
Okay.
And so I just want to thank you so much for your commitment and for helping us to be here. I know there are tons of people. They just represent more people, a lot of people. And so those of you who weren't standing up, just see me after. It's all right. I'll accept your shyness, and you shall be rewarded accordingly. But we just want to thank you for the faith that you had in Freedom House and the commitment to our kids and making this space a space that continues to give back to generations. So, hello. So we want to thank you. Senator Chang Diaz, since you're up here, rightfully so. They made me start early. It's not your fault. But I want to give you actually the podium because I know that you had a few remarks that you wanted to say. And so I just want to give you the podium and thank you all for your commitment and your contributions to Freedom House.
Thank you so much. You know, I start early when we can, early enough, and we do this work. This is community-changing work, life-changing work, generational work that happens here at Freedom House. And I was just thinking as I was hustling around the corner because I came over there and I saw you guys had already started, and I said, oh shoot, I'm late. I was thinking, you know, at the end of this year, it will be 9 years that I have been in representing Roxbury and the larger community in the state senate. Thank you. I mean, literally, thank you. And in the first few years of my time in the legislature, I was in the first Freedom House building a lot. You know, it was just this the throbbing heart, right, of community work here, and I was realizing, gosh, it's been a long time since I've been at an event, at a community meeting in Freedom House, and I'm just so thrilled to get a fix, right, to be back in here, be in this expanded, renovated, beautiful new space. One of my favorite memories so far as a legislator actually was in the old building when we had the community-based bill signing for quarry reform, for the first quarry reform. It was hot as all get out that day. Everyone was sweating, you know, just like pools of sweat in your shoes, but so much joy to be there. So I just, I'm so looking forward to all of the great things to come here in this new building, and thank you. So grateful to all of the leadership, the staff, the supporters of Freedom House for really keeping the faith during the years when we didn't know if you were going to get the new building, and now doing the work on the new building. So just huge gratitude, deep gratitude for really making this happen, and the generations of work past and the generations of work to come here at Freedom House. So thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to invite up to the podium Miss Jamada Smith on behalf of the Golden Heirs of Freedom House.
Okay, thank you. So, I don't know, I guess I could ask the Golden Heirs to stand. Do we have time for them to stand? Sure. All right, Golden Heirs, some of the Golden Heirs who are here, could you stand, please? Yay. So, you know, we're ecstatic because our name is actually, we were initially called the Golden Heirs of Roxbury. And some of the Golden Heirs, my mom was a Golden Heirs, and we have history. Mayor, I think we are the oldest senior group in the city of Boston. We've been told that for many times. And so the Snowdens and Miss Hester and other Golden Heirs got together, and they met and so forth. And so we're still doing that. And we have about over 30 members who are over 90. We have one right there that walks all over the place. They denied her for the ride because she walks, and she's 98 years old. And then she had the nerve to appeal it. And so now they go 5 days or 6 days a week because she's going somewhere. But we just, one of the things we want to do is continuously do the things that the Golden Heirs have been doing throughout. And we also have an intergenerational piece. And one of the things we have been asking ourselves, what could we do when they open up? You know, because we had to get out of the other building because it was in disrepair. And the Shelburne took us in, and we thank the Shelburne for that. And so now we're back home. And quickly, one day, the young people, they were having a special event. And I mean, the mayor mentioned the phrase, he said something about struggling. The students were struggling. They were literally struggling. They were rolling some big round tables that they had rented. So what we decided to do, our first gift is going to be 10 round tables so that they can stay right here and you don't have to go and rent them and bring them in. So Katrina,
Thank you.
on behalf of the Golden Heirs, we love you and thank you all very much.
Thank you, Ms. Jamada. Of course you get one.
Okay.
Give them a hand, because, you know, you beg people to please give back, but they saw a need and they took their senior dollars and they backed it up. I like people who back it up. So thank you so much. There are two other people I want to thank, and if I miss anybody else, I apologize before I thank some really special and incredible people as well. But Caleb Loring is here. And I want to thank you, Mr. Loring, publicly and on this stage. I won't make you say anything. There are also members of the National Grid Foundation here that I would love to come up. You won't have to say anything. I promise you, I'm not putting you on the spot. But I want to thank you, Mr. Loring, because when I came to you and told you that I needed to raise additional money, you gave me funding, but you gave it as a match. And that cornerstone match really did spur additional funding as well. And so I am super grateful for your thoughtfulness and for your generosity. And I just want to thank you by giving you a Give Back Award.
Thank you, Katrina, and quite frankly, it's an honor to be here, really to represent my mom and dad who've passed away a number of years ago. Dad, during his years as an executive at Fidelity, had a real heart for the inner city, and particularly Freedom House and the Snowdens. And I later had the privilege of working with Gail at the Bank of Boston, who worked with me in the lending area. So it's an honor and a privilege to really be here on behalf of my family, on behalf of the Amelia Peabody Charitable Fund, which also supported this endeavor, and where I am a trustee as well, and to see some familiar names and faces, UB and others that I've heard about so much in my lifetime. And I've been told about the Golden Heirs. Katrina said, watch out for this group. They have a lot of clout. So congratulations to you all.
National Grid, our silent partner. Thank you so much. All right, so before we start our dancing, I just want to acknowledge my board of directors, because I see some of you out there. Could you please give them a round of applause? I see Lisa. I see Natasha. I just want to say that this board is a tenacious board that fights a lot, and they don't just only fight for Freedom House, but they also, I have 100% giving on my board. There's not one person who sits on that board who doesn't give. And more amazingly, I have 100% giving in my staff. There's not one person who works for Freedom House who does not give to Freedom House. So no, they really deserve, I have the best staff in Boston. They do more before 10 a.m. than most of y'all do all day. They are phenomenal, incredible, and they keep coming back, and trust me, it's not because of the pay or the benefits. The best benefit is good music and good people. That's what we have to offer them. So I want to give them a round of applause. Mr. Mayor, would you join me as my dancing partner? And I'm going to say music selector, brass band. We're going to follow Antonio, and the rest of you guys, if you would follow us in a dance to the front. It's called second lining. So if you have something, you wave that in the air and you just dance.
We're bringing everyone up, right?
And we're bringing everyone up. Follow the second line.